Hello everyone, I'm Cheryl Ciecko with avoidingmold.com, and I'd like to share some more details with you today about the course, but I want to give you a little bit more idea of what we're going to be talking about and more details on the agenda. So the first section is going to be about site design and site selection. So we're going to talk about climate and how that affects the buildings that we build and that we design, permits and site planning, surveys and the types of surveys that you might need and why you might need those. And then at the end of that section, some site grading best practices that are really, really critical for keeping our buildings dry. The next session is going to be on number 2 is going to be building design basics. Just the overview of all the things we have to think about when we're designing a building, hoping for it and designing it to be resilient and safe in terms of air quality. So we're going to go over the phases of design and how that works, different design styles and why some may be better or more difficult for us to use. We'll talk about floor planning and things to keep in mind to keep the value high and our costs low. A brief design about walls and roofs, more to keep in mind in terms of how design affects the resilience of our buildings. And then in that section, we're going to touch on the mechanical systems and how those need to be incorporated even at the design phase. So that'd be heating and air conditioning, ventilation, plumbing, and electrical. So that's section 2. Section 3 is going to be foundations. Super critical. We don't get a chance to make a new foundation usually. That's a really important part of our building. So we're going to talk about the different kinds of foundations, slab, crawl space, and basements, pros and cons of those, and the details that are actually needed in all of them. We're going to talk about vapor barriers, we're going to talk about waterproofing and moisture proofing, and we're going to talk about overall drainage as it relates to foundations. That's number 3. We're going to talk about roofs, get into more vocabulary. Actually, each day there'll be some vocabulary to learn. We're going to talk about the types of roofs and the pros and cons and of which roof to use and design and how, again, to keep our buildings as moisture resistant as possible. And so we're going to talk about roof slope and venting and insulation, very key topics to keep our buildings dry, and also other moisture management details. And we'll be tying back to the design principles and the climate concepts that we've discussed previously. We're going to talk about walls. And so we'll be looking at openings in walls and types of materials and how they need to be worked with in walls, how to integrate the wall with the roof, and the places where buildings fail and how to avoid those. And then I'm going to have a 6th bonus section. So if you're in the course, you'll see. It's for anybody, whether you're going to build, remodeling even. This will be helpful. Even looking for the defects, you can take more time to watch it. You can go back and watch it. I'm going to be in a private group just for that course to answer questions along the way. And that'll vary what time that is, depending on my schedule, and also so that it can accommodate as many people who have varying schedules as well. This won't be as an alternative to individual consulting. Everybody's going to have unique situations in their buildings. However, this is the basis of stuff that I do need to discuss usually with my clients, all of them. And understanding why this is happening, this may be helpful for you.